and welcome to the table, episode 4.
Episode 4, we are cooking with gas.
We're cooking with gas. We definitely have upped our fashion game today. There is but no merch. But I am so excited to be here. Our guest today is like Beyond.
El Fuego. Yeah.
Beyond. Keeping me young and youthful. That's why I definitely am wearing a Forever 21 tee.
I love this tee. It's an oldie but a goodie.
It is certainly an oldie. You will see it in all photos that I post on Instagram.
Yeah, she gets trotted out a fair bit, but she always delivers.
I mean, hello, here we are. No eyeshadow. Full color on the tee. Just a tasteful mom kind of boob, and I love.
Yeah, your boobs look really good in that.
Yeah, it just looks like, they look great. I mean, in certain photos, they look long, but that's my journey.
I was wearing, the other day I went to go put on, I have like a tie-dye tank top. Okay. And it has like the big tie-dye like swirl. And I realized that the swirl is right on my gut. So I'm like, oh, we don't need a giant circle like leading us in to the problem area.
Yeah. I've definitely lived that life. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I will say this week, a huge story for me. I was on set. Anyways, I say that to say, I just want to talk about my hair before we get into our guest. Just I was put in a slick ponytail. If you want to watch it, if you're listening to this, I recommend to watch slick, pulled back one strand ponytail. So any and all hair comments I would love to receive.
AKA poo-poo.
Not to make comparisons here, but we do, and I can feel you buckling up. Like you're like, what's a coming down the tracks? But our next guest, unfortunately does serve a pulled back pony in a very youthful, girl boss way.
Okay. Can I also say this? Also a center part bun.
Yes. A statement bun, a statement,
yes.
Part.
Yes. Yes. And it is, let me tell you, I've tried it on for size. Different for me.
Ce n'est pas bien.
If you ever wanted to see what Miss Trunchbull is up to, look at me in a slick back center bun.
Oh, can I also say that like my one thing from the intro that first I screwed up and then I was like, le table, and someone wrote la. It's la table.
We love our community.
Yeah. And although I was taken aback, I would like to say to that beautiful Frenchman, Julian, I'll still suck you.
Of course. And that's always a rule here on La Table. Patrick will suck you in the bushes, preferably.
Yes. Yeah. No knee pad required, but I may have to bounce out at a certain point. Fucking Leah shows up again.
Leah Michelle. Shall we get to our guest?
We must. I've had the privilege of seeing our next guest at Toronto Sketchfest with Uber and Clonk. I'm pretty sure I ruined some of the video because I really laugh. Like it's so refreshing to see a show being put on that people have rehearsed, written. There's style, substance, and a
punchline.
And wit.
We love.
we love a punchline, and I've also had the privilege of performing with our guest. I don't want to give her away, even though she's in the title, but please help me welcome book lore queen Carley Thorne.
Hi. Hello.
Oh my God. How are you?
You said that Miss Trunchbull comment. I'm eating vegan chicken nuggets, full disclosure, and I spit a chunk onto my computer. I laughed and it came out. And
Listen, the truth will find its way. It'll get you. The truth will get you every time.
The truth is funny. That there's truth in comedy. There's truth in comedy.
Much too good for children.
We are so excited you're here. I will tell you, like, we thought of you instantly when we were like, who do we want in this podcast?
Oh my God.
You have led me into a YouTube deep dive, which I can only thank you for, which I love a niche community on YouTube.
It's the best. It's the best. especially now because YouTube, I feel like when we all first you start getting into YouTube, it feels very small and secret. But now it's so big. Like when James Charles gets canceled, it's on like the news.
Yes.
So when you get like a niche community again, and then there's politics and things like that, I love it. I love it.
I mean, and you bring a lot of fire into
you really do.
Yeah.
like you're there to drag I mean points of view, writers from
publications,
the 20s,
opinions.
Yeah, and I've always celebrated that about you.
Yeah, and I think that's we've performed a couple times, and I think we really connect on. We're not here to be nice. It's not about being nice.
No,
it's about being
not
entertaining. That's all that matters.
It's
true.
I
mean, in an assembly show on a third floor with about 6 people, I heard Carley Thorne playing a small child say, "Just do a line of coke off my kid ass."
I did say that. I did,
and I was like, "Rise, everyone, rise for her."
I mean, let me ask the audience.
We've all done those sets where there's like no one laughing, and my brain goes, it's better for people to be like, ooh, than for silence. I would rather have disgust than silence. And that will get me in trouble. I am waiting for my cancellation. It hasn't happened yet, but I'm sure it's happening soon.
Well,
so
hopefully we can help facilitate that.
Hopefully we can.
Okay, maybe it'll happen today.
This can be the end of Carley Thorne.
Yeah,
that'll be the title of this podcast.
Yes. The cancellation of Carley Thorne.
Oh my gosh.
Not bad.
It's actually, that's good clickbait, which is a term, I've been looking up. Of course.
I love clickbait.
So what got you in? Because I remember watching you perform. I knew you as a comedian. I didn't know that you were on the YouTube thing. Was it a secret? Now you're fully blown up. You are like the queen icon, living legend.
Thank you.
When did this begin? It's amazing.
At the very, very end of November last year. So I wasn't doing it when performing was happening. Because I was really nervous. I was so terrified that anyone would find it when it was I didn't tell anyone until I even got to 35K.
Yeah.
Because I was like, it's embarrassing. And it's not, but I just hold myself to I'm constantly watching myself.
Which is refreshing.
Exactly.
It is so refreshing. I mean, I've been embarrassing myself online with little views for many years. Even to have you here now, what is it like to be on an unmonetized channel? It must be so thrilling.
It's like pro bono. It's just good to give back.
But so that you've only been doing this since November. That's fucking incredible.
You're but this is my flat tummy tea. And
how did I get my teeth so bright?
My hair vitamins. I said vitamins because I didn't say gummy or vitamins.
Oh, so quick shout out that there will be occasional foghorns just blasting in the middle of this. I live in Little Italy. Citizen of the world.
You have to say why, because now it just seems like you're alluding to the fact that Italians like to have foghorns. They're playing.
No. It's a cultural thing. And,
no, it's not.
You can't use that. Okay, that was a crazy person, and you cannot use it.
They are going to be. They're in a state of celebration right now because they're playing in the Euro finals. That will be done by the time this comes out.
So we don't know what happens, but you'll know.
Well, let's do 2 alternates right now. And unfortunately, England won.
Well, I am an England fan, but
right. So successfully, England
I'm happy,
won.
but I
Bring
get
it home. Bring it
happy.
home.
Yeah, football's coming home. And we'll do the other version as well.
Football's coming home. There we go.
And
Italy has won.
Italy has won.
Congratulations.
Hey, Mum Bone, what Tony?
Are you saying Mom Bone?
I don't even know what you're
prefer Dad Bone.
Okay.
In editing, I'll know. Ow.
We have to discuss this with you because you are truly, I guess, Courtney Love's most favorite internet icon.
Yes, she does have one more favorite. She has one time listed her favorite YouTube channels in my comments because she said I was her second favorite, and people were like, "Well, what's your first favorite?" But they don't know it's Courtney Love because she has an account that's not Courtney Love, but I figured out that it's her. So her first favorite account is Be Kind Rewind, which is a old Hollywood kind of historical channel. They do little bits being when Judy Garland won the Oscar or something, and they'll talk about it. I don't know if that's what, but that's what they do.
Okay, yeah.
And then she said mine was her second favorite at the time because I didn't know she watched my channel. And then one time Patrick just DM'd me. Yeah, Patrick Murray DM'd me and was like, why are you on why are you on Courtney Love's Instagram? And I was like, what are you talking about?
As if I said it that casual. First of all, I exploded you on like multiple mediums.
Yeah. Yes.
I was like, Courtney Love has like, because again, like Courtney Love sometimes does a bit of the share thing where she's like, it seems like it was meant to be a text, but it's a caption of a photo. And it was like at Carley Thorne, like my little Gen Z queen, like I may not care about Harvey Styles. Am I 6 million years old?
Yeah. Yes. Harvey Styles. That's like how my aunt calls Kanye West Conway.
I just love that Conway, you know.
Conway.
And I need to know that I'm being heard.
Yeah, that she like wrote this
my
caption.
Little buddy.
Yeah.
Like I don't care what Harry Styles read, but you make it really entertaining. And then she said something along the lines of like, I love watching you when I don't want to punch you in the face, because I guess she doesn't agree with all of my opinions, which is fine. You know, we're allowed to disagree. But again, that's like the share thing of like not really understanding how people, like how that could, I think it's like a pre-cancel culture kind of point of view of being like, in the certain times, if you told a different person, like, I want to punch you in the head.
Well, and
people
like
might not
really,
think that awesome.
really having
I fucking say constantly, like, I'm going to stab somebody in the eye. So I'm like, yeah, go for it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's being in a place of courage to understand that your tone will come through a text caption that says, I want to punch you in the face.
Yeah, just confidence. You know yourself. You know yourself. And you know who you're communicating with.
Man.
I have to say, like, I'm so happy for your channel, your success. Yes. I hate that Courtney Love loves you more than she loves me. Like, I can't celebrate all your successes. I love Courtney Love. And that being said, I'm obviously going to bury all of those feelings because I'm really trying to like, we've established in a verbal agreement that I would be the plus one if there was a dinner party. Yeah. I will blow any weird old artist, like the troll
there'll be
in
somebody
the corner.
From like Studio 54 or whatever.
Patrick will blow them. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He will. You have to.
Yes.
For the story, even. Like, I constantly say, I'm in a committed relationship. But if, I was ever presented with the opportunity to fuck Mick Jagger now, he's like old. And he's old. Yeah. I would do it because I gotta know. Like, I want to say it. I want to say that I had sex with Mick Jagger. He's got to be bad now, though, because he's so old. Like, he's got to just have to lie on his back, right? Although he has a young wife, I think. I think his wife is pretty young. I think she's like 30 or something.
Oh, yeah. So she might want to lay on her back too, just from my own experience, Pat.
Yeah. we all want to lay on our back.
Yeah, it is very true.
It's fun. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
I will say that line of thinking got me to have sex with, I want to say Buck Hollywood. What was the guys that he was like?
What could you possibly be talking about right now?
What are you talking about?
I'm not picking my nose. I swear to God, there's something up in my nose and I have to get it out.
Buck TV?
Who the fuck?
What the hell is Buck TV?
Who are you? What is this person?
I'm looking this up and I'm so upset. I think I'm going to get in trouble.
I'm going to look up Buck Hollywood.
Who's Buck Hollywood?
Biggest online dance battle in the history of mankind? Is this who you're talking about?
Wait,
Michael Buckley?
Yes.
Michael Buckley? You fucked Michael Buckley?
Yes.
Okay, that is who Buck Hollywood is. If you were right, when I look up Buck Hollywood, Michael Buckley comes up.
From What the Buck?
He was What the Buck? See,
Patrick. Wait, what is he? Oh my God, I'm such a star fucker. Yeah.
See,
he's a comedian. Okay,
Patrick, I'm proud of you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Maybe he follows and likes, and honestly, I'd ask him to subscribe as well.
Yeah,
it's the least.
Jump on the table.
This is amazing.
What the Buck?
Are you familiar with Demois, the Instagram account, of course?
No.
Okay,
so yes, you are, Stacey.
Am
this
I?
isn't like a celebrity gossip girl Instagram account where they'll like post rumors about celebrities or like sightings. I didn't know about it. And recently somebody turned me onto it and it's literally my obsession. Like it's a horrible trait I have, but I need to know what every celebrity is doing at any moment and any minor. So I don't give a fuck about Tom Cruise. I don't care. I want
the smaller the better.
Random ass fucking celebrity hunched over a bowl of clams at some like random ass New Jersey restaurant. Like I'm obsessed with it. And I want to know what they're wearing.
You're just like, it's just like Gene Triplehorn eating a caprese salad.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I want. And I think
that's why I like YouTube so much because they're like this niched, and when it's super drama, like, and people don't really know who they are. I am obsessed with them.
Where do you search for because we kind of talked about this a little bit before, that you're very into YouTube drama, and I am too. It's my absolute guilty pleasure. I posted on my Instagram story, there was like a Reductress headline that was like, woman gets involved in like hours and hours of internet drama despite the fact that she has one life to live on this earth. Like I will spend hours. Like I don't care. It's a horrible thing to do with my time, but I'm invested. Where do you get your information? Do you follow a drama channel? Or is it Twitter?
Multiple.
Who are your favorites?
T-Spill.
T-Spill's good. Okay. T-Spill's
is that the one with the voice? Like the voice is modulated over just random pictures?
I think that's like Spill Sesh.
I think that's Spill Sesh.
Yes. Okay, yes.
We love T-Spill, I think is Canadian, so I don't know if it's like that's where, but like she's always like, oh my God. She's like, oh my God, you guys, this is crazy. Am I being a bitch? And it's like, for sure.
I love that.
Trisha Paytas like tried to take down her channel. I was like very much invested in that whole journey. Spill Sesh is great. I really was into the H3 Trisha drama with Patrick. We land on either side, but there was like a young Irish.
You don't have to go into it. You're Team Trisha.
Team Trisha hard.
I'm obviously not Team Trisha. I'm
Stacey rides or dies for Ethan Klein's mom.
No.
Okay, so obviously there's some problematic people on both sides, but Patrick, I do have to unfortunately let you know that I do side with Ethan Klein in this scenario. I think that they
fucked.
I'm sorry. When you explain
trying to fucking raise your wiki feet, goodbye.
No, I'm very purposely I've never had a picture of my naked foot online because I know I will get on, because I'm terrified of wiki feet. I'm a post wiki feet generation, so I've been aware of wiki feet.
Not at all to like body shame in any way, but like I could see you having goblin feet.
Yeah, no, they're not. No, you're not wrong. They're definitely, I would say, probably my ugliest feature. But I also hate feet. Like I have a foot aversion, and I think it's because I'm afraid of having a foot fetish. So I've just had to go to the opposite end of the spectrum and think they're disgusting. I can't be neutral. And my feet they're not like gnarly, but they're not cute.
So I had a guy on Grindr offer to give me money to take pictures of my feet.
How much?
Like, he said he was like anywhere between 150 and 250. And I'm like, what's a girl got to do for the 250? And he said,
if you're doing it, you might as well get the top dollar.
Look at the material.
He said, and this is where Carly, I can run a referral program. Yeah. He was like, I want feet with a lot of character. Like,
that's the worst thing I've ever heard.
He goes, dry skin, crack.
I hate how you're doing that to the mic, and I don't feel good for the mic. Cracked. Dry. You're disgusting right now. This poor Yeti.
Yeah, my feet have character, definitely.
Yeah, and I feel like, I don't know, from like, I think sucking so many dicks on the sand, I have like crackly like bottoms of my soles. So like,
and I do consider myself a refined valley dude.
Wow, so did you send?
I did, and he said, lots of character.
I'm scarred by that.
Did he send it via PayPal? How'd you get paid?
No. Okay. So then the whole thing is like, he needs to like come over and like photograph my feet and probably like fucking come on the floor. Cause then he was like, any more pics? And I was like, no, I'm not. This is.
You said 250, like where, like Venmo me or whatever.
I sent a single heel, and the rest is
single heel is like
the rest is behind the paywall.
Wow.
This is just the taste of the character you can expect.
Gagatondra.
Who would you say is your favorite, like, Foot? But what is like your most favorite drama currently? Because like now that like the Trisha Ethan thing is like kind of kaput, even though they did a Secret Frenemies episode. How do I feel about that? I don't know.
I haven't listened.
What?
So Trisha Paytas came out and said, we filmed another Frenemies, but Ethan decided to not air it. Obvious. And she's like, we fought and stuff, but I thought it was okay. He apologized for everything. Like clearly she doesn't look good in it. Like clearly. And he was just like, I think he kind of got shit for releasing the last one. So he was like, you know what? I tried to bury the hatchet. Didn't work.
Also, there's ethics, I think, on his side in terms of like, you don't want to, Trisha's obviously going through it. And something that I do find, Trisha obviously has done some things that are not okay. I'm not arguing that. But I do think there is a weird standard on the internet when it comes to mental illness of it's like all fun and games to be mentally ill as long as you're depressed. But the second it is anything that makes people uncomfortable, it's funny or it's fine or it's indicative of who they are. And I'm not saying that like what the people she hurt, it's invalid, but the way the internet treats her when she is obviously unwell is gross. Like totally. So I get on his side not airing it when she's obviously going through an episode. Yeah. And you're just going to profit off of her invalidating the behavior when she needs to center herself and go through it. Like there's lots of that on the internet. Even this like Gabby Hanna stuff, which I'm tired of hearing about. I'm going to be honest, but
girl, bye. Like, when they're talking about that YouTube premium show that I would was never going to watch, Escape the Night.
I had to Google like what it was because I had heard about it because I was watching a different, somebody else was talking about the whole TanaCon thing, like 2 years later or something, whenever TanaCon happened. Smokey Glow did a video that was like TanaCon retrospective, and it's very good.
Okay,
and they were talking about how the reason she started TanaCon is because they wouldn't make her a featured creator, even though she was very, very famous. So she would just like cause stampedes at VidCon when she went because they wouldn't bring her backstage. And they were like, she was in Escape the Night one year. So she had like billboards everywhere, but they didn't let her go backstage. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And I looked it up and I was like, I still don't really understand what this. It's like a reality show, but it's like a murder mystery, but it's like Big Brother, but
and then they get killed off. Yeah, I tried to watch.
And they're all acting, but they're all like.
Also, it's like, you know.
Yeah, I think I'd have to see an episode or two, but I have a lot on my plate right now.
Well, yeah, being talented and wonderful.
Read.
Yeah, you read.
True.
Like, do you read? Okay, do you read every day?
I try to, but sometimes it'll only be like a couple pages.
Okay.
I can't be on my phone for long periods of time because I will make myself feel like garbage. Yeah. So like I read before bed and I'll read in the morning usually.
Nice.
And that's how I get it done. But also I read a lot more now than I did before I started the channel because it's a game to me now.
Really?
Like it's gamifying it in the sense where it's like, okay, I have to get this done by Tuesday so I can film on Wednesday or something like that.
It's like an assignment. Like it's like school.
Exactly. Yeah, but it's like fun because it's not like for grade or whatever. Like it's like, but it's like I have a deadline where I have to read by, and it's like loose. It doesn't matter if I don't. But that makes it easier than just free reading. But I have to do both now because that reading consistently towards a goal will like kill it for me. Like it'll make me not want to read at all anymore. So sometimes like I'll take like a week off where I just like don't read anything and I just rot my brain and it's the best.
That's nice.
Yeah. But I also do different stuff. Like there's people on BookTube whose videos basically are every first week of the month, they'll post a to be read where they talk about the books they're going to read that month. And at the end, they read a wrap up where they talk about all the books they read. So they have to read like, you know, like at least 5 books a month to talk about stuff for long periods of time. Like if you want content, and long form content on YouTube does better, you have to read a lot. Where if I can feel myself getting tired because I don't make that content, I'll just be like, okay, I'm going to do fucking 3 videos where I talk about something else so I don't have to read for like 2.5 weeks.
Of course.
Which is nice. I would recommend it, everyone, but that's just also, I never liked watching those videos when I would watch BookTube, so I just never made them, you know?
Well, I think that's also great for you because it's like, again, like you're not just someone who reads the way I'm not just someone who doesn't read.
Or
like
you're not just somebody who sucks cock and talks about it constantly.
He's that, and also he doesn't read.
Exactly.
So that's what's beautiful about Patrick.
You're illiterate and you're addicted to cock.
I can't read while I'm sucking a dick. Okay.
Exactly.
I
Started in childhood.
Audiobooks. Oh my God.
Just tape a Cosmo to the wall.
Oh my God. I have a Cosmopolitan on my bed that I am gonna read. Oh my God. Ooh. That's my guilty pleasure too. I love reading a Cosmopolitan.
Oh, they're still so good. I read one recently and it was like how to clean off all types of sex stains. And I was like, this is great.
I love
this. Before we get to your table, I have to know who your
talk
drama
about
channel.
poo?
What?
I need to know if they talk about poo
in
the sex stains.
They talk about poo, really? Okay.
Well, they talk about gut health.
Okay.
There was one.
No, I mean on the sex stains because I need to know. I need to know if we're being represented.
I don't think so.
I bet it isn't.
I know. I bet it's not. I mean, and Cosmos, you know, they've come very far. They really have, and they have a lot of like. In the one I just read, they have like a whole article that's about how to get good LGBT healthcare in America, which is like fully valuable. But I do wonder, I don't read all of their sex stuff because sometimes it's like how to sex. And I'm like, you learn, like you get to a certain point, you're like, I got how to sex.
You're just like, here's my hole.
Yeah. Okay. I have titties. Do you want to see them?
I have titties. You want to see them. I wish someone told me like in high school, like that's all I had to sort of like put myself out as.
I know. I mean, I'm happy I didn't because I think I would have developed I would be like, my body is my body and that's everything. But it is such a thing in high school where you're like, I'm not sexy. And then you grow into an adult and for the most part, you're like, I have a hole and that's enough for most people. Like if somebody's like, you're not sexy, I'm like, okay, like somebody's picky. Like,
but that's incredible. But that mentally is incredible because even now I'm still like, what? You know, that wasn't confidence in your body.
Confidence is a new thing.
It's a new, honestly, this is why I like TikTok where it's like, oh, like I wish I had that. So I didn't dress like my teachers who had a similar body structure.
Yeah.
Because I was like, unless you're Christina Aguilera with like the low jeans, like I was like, what do you wear if you have a short torso and, you know, large breasts? You know, where do you go?
Totally. Yeah, I think that's one of the benefits I found of like growing up with the internet for so long is because I grew up in America in Maryland, so like a small town not like small town, but it wasn't like
she's U.S.
Toronto.
Dual citizen.
No, I have a green card, unfortunately, an American green card. I'm a Canadian citizen because my parents are Canadian, so sucks. I have to figure out what to do with that.
You can make that YouTube money, U.S. You know
exactly. But like. You can watch, there's so many girls on YouTube who will like or on TikTok who are like, this is how I dress. And there's so many of them. You can find someone who is close to you and just I have no sense of style on my own. Like it's not, nothing I wear is my own idea.
Oh, well, I don't think there's like those few unicorns that walk among us where you're like, what?
Yeah.
Like their clothes don't even look like they bought it in a store.
Yeah, they just they've styled themselves. But for the most part, you just got to find someone who looks like you.
Call me Pegasus then.
Where's the closest Teespring? I love the merch. Well, okay. So first of all, I want to know, just before we get into your table, who is your gossip go-tos as a Gen Z icon on the YouTubes? Like, who are we missing?
I really they had some drama between them. So Drama Channel's having drama.
We love that.
I really enjoy Smokey Glow, who I talked about before, and Angelica Oles. They're just yeah. And
Angelica had the thing with Gabby Hanna, right?
Yes, exactly. Gabby Hanna was like, Angelica makes all these videos with me in the thumbnail, blah, 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 blah. And Angelica's like, everyone did.
Yeah.
That's why you do this. You know, she's a lot. She's going through it. My favorite thing about Gabby Hanna, and I'm worried to say this because she will go for a small creator. She does not give a fuck. Like, right. But she does say like, oh, I do this because I have ADHD. Like I think she said, she misgendered someone because she has ADHD, which is not anything.
No.
And I was like, so I have ADHD. No, like I get it. And the thing that I find about so painful about Gabby Hanna is like, I know the impulse because it seems that she's just very sensitive and like shouldn't, and people are critical of her. But she like came after Angelica Oles. I think Angelica Oles and Smokey Glow had drama because they did a collab. And Angelica got canceled a while ago because she said something about like she liked the Kardashians, and I guess because the Kardashians have stolen from women of color and stuff like that, it was a sensitive topic. I don't have the whole story there. I think there's more, but I don't know. Damn. So then Smokey Glow is like, I'm not friends with her anymore. I've cut her out. And Angelica's like, you didn't even ask me like what happened. What's my side? So even though they're not friends anymore.
Team Angelica.
Let's just say you have no information and you're like, I'm on her team.
Well, because she said the thing that I so agree, which is like, ask them. Like it's wild to me that people will be like, this like I can't believe I saw this. Here's exactly what happened. This is like this person's perspective. Like it's just like someone will post something that's then taken as the truth, where it's like, did you ask them? Like I would love to like if we normalized being like, hey, when you said this, it seemed like it was directed at me. And then someone can say, oh, no, it wasn't. It was directed at this.
Or the internet, because you see so much of that in the comments as well as like somebody will read somebody will comment like being like, oh, you said this. I mean, this doesn't happen to me, but like with Angelica, it's like somebody will comment being like, you said this. And then everyone will be like, what? She said this? And then instead of being like, let's clarify on both sides, because you know what I mean? Like maybe she did say something horrible and feels no remorse and needs to be held accountable. Right. But you need like, when it's just people with no information talking with people with more information, it's very dangerous. And there does need to be some level of like, let's talk about it. Especially because if you talk about it and ask her about it, and then she says like, fuck off, haha, like, yeah, I said it again. You could be like, geez.
Okay. Now we know.
But I think YouTube or like drama in general, it's like, is the resolution really what anyone's working towards? Or does that mean like no more clicks, no more money, and no more like fueled anger going somewhere else than like you know, not to be the ant of the group.
No, but I've thought this with like, you know how now there are so many like Instagram, like infographics on world events, like whatever is the contentious thing. It's like, don't worry, I have a picture book for you to explain it. And like, but I'm like, okay, so now we have Instagram accounts telling us the news, but they don't have the same journalistic standards that like other places do, where I'm like, I haven't seen a single Instagram account ever redact anything, ever be like, sorry, we said, and like, I can still agree with you. But if like an Instagram account is talking about like the encampments and being like, the police paid for a helicopter, and then they're like, oh no, that helicopter was actually the news, you can still say that and I can still agree with you. I actually respect you more for like taking something back.
Because you know that they're holding themselves to a certain standard.
Exactly.
Yeah. Totally. And it just gets really, I mean, it gets really murky when the public is the judge, jury, and executioner of someone's entire life. I get it. And I think that this is not me being like, cancel culture is a cancer to our society, blah, blah, blah. Like, I do think that, the idea of cancel culture is really weird because it's like it shouldn't equate like what Harvey Weinstein did with like what some random girl on the internet did. Like it's such a weird long spectrum, and there's some really good things that have come out of it. But 100%. There's also some like things that are like, I don't know if that's.
There are things that trickle down, I think, into like the average Joe thing where it's like we've all now kind of like watched or enjoyed seeing like a pile on. So then it's like, if it's exposing this like a Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey or whatever, it's like, but then when it's just like someone tweeting something, like that's not like someone coming forward with an allegation. Someone's tweet is like pretty easy to make, and like people's experiences are colored by their perceptions, and like it can all just get like, as you said, very murky once it gets into like, once it trickles down into like way more lower, it's like low stakes, high stakes, but also it's people's livelihood.
Whatever you want on the internet at any time. And again, like talking about how things have gotten so you don't have to, I think you don't have to ask yourself questions when you post. Like, I think we've all posted things piling on to certain things. I've done that where I've seen something happen and been like, have gotten literally 1% of the story and been like, that's fucked up. Yeah, we must take a stand.
And here's my take.
Exactly. Yeah. I am not going to stand by and let this happen. And it's like, I have no information and I'm posting about it. And also it gets to the point too, where something I find that's so strange as literally a minuscule micro influencer is I will have people message me being like, why haven't you spoken on this? And I'll be like, well, I don't know about it yet. And that's fine. Like, I get it. Yes. I think a lot of it's like people want to be heard and it's the norm. Like, we are so used to it being like, we must speak. You have to speak on things, especially if you have a platform.
And it's just retweeting.
Yeah, it asks nothing of you. But there has to be some level of standard of like, if I need to read about it and I also have a life. So maybe I won't post immediately about something because I'm out.
And that's okay.
I'm doing something. Yeah, because you don't want to.
And it's okay to not comment on it because I'm like, this is digesting for me. Or like, also like, for whom do I post this? Like,
and for whom needs my perspective? Like,
that's the weird thing about social media as a whole is it makes us all seem like we need to have an opinion on everything. Like
1,000%.
There used to be, in the old times, it used to be somebody would be like, what do you think about this? And somebody's like, I don't know. But now it's like, you have to have an opinion on it or you're complacent. And that is true. But also you're not complacent if you're not posting on social media, because posting on social media is not activism. No. It's not doing anything. It's not protesting. And that's one of the reasons I deleted Twitter. I also deleted Twitter because there was just people on there being fucking annoying and I would hate scroll. Like, no. I would hate scroll. They weren't talking to me. They weren't talking to me at all. It was
hate scroll. Yes.
It's people we all know. And I would be like, I have to see what they said today. So I could be like, ugh.
I know. There were people that like when a big like world event would happen, I'd be like, and what are they going to say? Because it'll be the worst.
Yes, exactly. And I was like, I can't. It's
bad.
It's not bad. Good. It's just being like, haha, I hate this person because it's something, they trigger something in me that I don't like about myself or whatever, right?
Well, and I may hate someone's social media presence, but like I may still like them as a person.
I know.
Like,
that's a real thing.
Yeah, look at my Instagram feed. I'm surprised I still have friends.
I know. I'm expecting. I'm scared if I ever download that like unfollowers app that tells you who unfollowed me. I'm sure there's gonna be so many people from.
Let me tell you,
comedy community.
I did it once.
Me too.
A year ago, and I was like, "Oh, this is a sickness. Stacey, you're sick.
Damaging.
Yeah. You're sick, and you don't need this." And yeah,
it's just like a fizz. But that's the thing.
Some people swear by it.
I can't.
Really?
I had to stop like reading about myself indirectly because I'm psycho. And I would like Google my name and like see what people, because it's that thing. I don't know if you've ever had this would you rather, but it's like, or this thing was like, if you could read a book that's everything anyone's ever said about you, would you read it?
Of course.
And I could I always used to be like, I mean, I know I shouldn't, but I think I would. And now I know for sure I would, because I did for like, I had to stop because it was like, it wasn't even anything bad. I don't know if it is now, it might be, but like it would be somebody being like, oh, I don't really like her that much because her personality is kind of exhausting for me, which is like, you're not saying it to my face, you're saying it to somebody else and you're allowed to think that. But I was like, I'm a bag of shit. Like, you just take it personally because it's literally about you. Of
course.
Like, and that's
because that's unfortunately how our brains work. Is like 10 people can come up to you and be like, you did a great job. Oh my God, you were so funny. And then the 10th person, or yeah, exactly. One person is like, oh my God, like your friend is so good. And you're like, not me.
What? Oh, easily. Because we have, I mean, I think it checks off our deepest fears. And like, we're always looking for that validation. Like the second someone,
like we think we're a piece of shit and you want somebody to validate that
confirm
feeling.
it.
And also it's like animalistic. If you're living in a traveling nomadic tribe, when you're like a Neanderthal, you need everyone to like you, because if they don't like you, they'll fucking kill you and you'll die. Whereas now it's like some random 12-year-old on the internet who doesn't like my personality is fully allowed to. That's allowed. I asked for it by doing this. This is literally what I have chosen to do.
I still don't think you did. I still think though, like, I'm like, what is the deal with like I'm not going to at people. I'm not like, it's like, I will talk shit to my friends.
But we didn't grow up, like we were introduced to the internet. Like it's so like, there's this weird, I think still like, I don't know, space between it, I think. Because it's like, if you grew up with something, then you just have ownership of it. It's like, there's no like weird transition to like being on YouTube or TikTok. Like you would just show, right? Am I making sense?
Yeah. I think it's like, I think when you're young too, there's just no knowledge that anyone would ever see it. Like there's no,
right.
Because you have no understanding. I feel like it's a much more adult understanding that you get when you grow up, that like the people whose lives you think are awesome because they're famous or rich, you're like, well, they can handle it because they get all of these good things.
Yes.
And that's such a natural thought.
Yeah.
Because they have things that you want, but you don't have the understanding that, because you haven't gotten the things that you've wanted and be like, I am still miserable. Like,
right, totally.
Yes.
So when you say stuff like that, you're like, they can handle it because they're happy and they have a really great life. And I don't think you understand, like, it just doesn't click.
Yeah.
And they're reachable. I remember tweeting at Dorinda Medley and she responded and I said, this is too close and we're too close.
Yeah, too available. You can't be
available.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, we just want to get into like, obviously, who your table is. I'm like, you are the Gen Z of our lives. So I'm curious, scared, and I feel like I will never feel as old. But I do want to know your table.
Okay. So number one has to be, I told Patrick that I was probably going to do this one.
Okay.
Be Nikki Blonsky of the movie Hairspray.
Talk about a dead tooth. That tooth has.
I have a dead tooth. It's okay. I'm open about it. But you're referring. Okay. Yes. Oh my God. I love that. You don't like Patrick?
Nikki Blonsky?
Yes.
Wait, am I thinking of the right one?
She's Tracy Turnblad.
Yeah.
But then who's the one on Broadway?
Nikki.
Who plays Nikki Tracy Turnblad on Broadway is what you're asking?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wait, who's the one? Who was the one in the movie?
That's Nikki Blonsky.
Yeah. Okay. So we're all just pretending that Nikki Blonsky's normal now?
What do you mean?
No,
like I hope
I'm
gonna have to bring naloxone to the table. Like Nikki.
What?
Because you think we're overdosing?
I think she might dabble. Nikki Blonsky.
Allegedly.
Nikki Blonsky, who's now like a hairdresser in like Jersey with missing a tooth and is doing fucking YouTube tours of her Motel 6.
No. Really?
She is. And I did order a cameo from her a while ago for my friend Meredith because she's going through it. I would recommend. She goes on for like 5 minutes when she is not required to. And she started out like first of all, she sang 2 songs. She sang 2 songs off like she got like the YouTube. She sounded great, but
great.
She had like the YouTube.
Did she whistle through the tooth?
In the back? She did not. I didn't know she had a dead tooth.
It's a missing tooth. She been dead.
Why do you know this?
Okay, how do you know this information?
Okay, sorry. You were the cameo.
She sang a song where she was like, she basically changed the lyrics of Without Love using the karaoke backing track from YouTube, where she went, without love, life is like the seasons with no summer. Without love, life is like Meredith without Carly. Like she went all in. Oh, I love it. It was worth my $1.
It was $1.
And it wasn't $1. It was like,
can you imagine?
I think it might have been.
I could.
I was like $100. I think
she's working at like a Top Cuts.
Okay.
Yeah, she is now, because Hollywood really spit her out. She was like in Hairspray, introducing Nikki Blonsky. And then because she is plus sized, the industry was like, we're good at, like, she didn't book anything. And she's talented. Like, you watch her in Hairspray and you're like, a star. She is wonderful in Hairspray. Mm-hmm. And she's not doing anything. So now she's a hairdresser, I guess, in New Jersey on Cameo. And we're very happy for her. She is in Smash. She is in NBC Smash.
Okay. Loved Smash.
I'm rewatching it right now.
I love that you say she's in it. Like it's like that's currently airing.
Well, also she's an assistant in maybe 2 episodes, so it's not like she's the main character, but
right.
She's,
okay.
Doing her best.
So we have Nikki Blonsky at the table, which I love. I would love like the story. I feel like I would get into it. I mean, I loved her in Hairspray. Like obviously a tragic fucking tale.
Into like
she would go
the industry, how they've like spit her out.
Mention it all. Mention it all.
Okay, who else is at your table?
I would do to bring the Gen Z.
We love. Okay.
I would love to have Emma Chamberlain at the table.
And we love it. Okay. I mean, we could have you back and I would love to just really unpack it.
How old?
Emma Chamberlain is like a Gen Z, like queen of queens, like YouTube royalty, like style icon.
YouTube in like when she was like 16 and then within like 6 months had like 1 million subscribers. She's like 10 million subscribers now. She's a year younger than me. And she was on like the cover of Cosmo. She's now an ambassador for Louis Vuitton, like literally living the life of lives. And again, I literally just said people with good lives aren't necessarily happy.
I will say this about Emma Chamberlain that fascinates me because I do watch her and I know I'm in my 30s, but she spends a lot of time in bed. I'm concerned. Just maybe as like a little friend. She's always in bed.
There's lots of drama because recently, well, first of all, there was an eating disorder scandal where everybody thought she had an eating disorder and she had to be like, I can't believe I'm saying this. I don't I can't believe I have to tell the public I'm good. But then also people on TikTok were like, she is like constantly depressed. Like she's in bed all day. She needs help. And she was like, I just show a part of my life. I just show. And she had to basically come out and be like, and then people were like, I shouldn't be depressed because I'm rich. And she didn't say rich, but that was the implication. And she's like, but like that's mental illness. It's going to happen. And I was like, great. She has a podcast and I would recommend it because she gets way more candid on the podcast than she does in her videos.
Oh, maybe I'll have a listen.
Different layers.
I think it's great. I just worry because like she's so young and not that you need your parents around. You absolutely don't.
Totally.
But she's just home alone in this massive mansion. It's like, are you, it's okay to be solo, but it's like, she goes to bed super early.
I think
what?
She got famous kind of as like a lonely, and also Emma Chamberlain, if you're reading this, it's not a book. If you're watching this, I love you. Okay. This is just theories. I love you. Nothing but love. She got very famous.
Coffee. I don't know, whatever.
Yes. I would love to be on your coffee company PR list.
I'll jump in bed. I'll go off my meds. I don't care.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. This is you on your meds. It's startling.
Yes. We need to debrief after this podcast, but I digress. Go on.
She got like famous basically when she was depressed at like 16, being inside all day, having no friends, driving around. Then she gets like famous, has her own house. She has like a boyfriend and she has a bunch of friends, but she never shows them. And I think part of it is like, she's the fear of losing relatability of already being in a mansion and rich. She can't show that she's in a mansion and rich, gets flown out by Louis Vuitton to Paris all the time, has a boyfriend who's a musician who writes songs about her and has like 4 model friends. Like she will lose all relatability at that point, which I get.
Agreed.
I don't think her instinct is wrong, but that's why, you watch her videos and you're like, this girl is going through it because she's in bed all day. She gets up, she goes, she buys a bunch of clothes. She cooks a meal and then she goes to bed again. I hope she's okay.
Yeah,
like in bed is a universal experience. Like on a private jet, we're no longer like tapped in.
That's such a good call. Yeah, that's so true. Because it's like, I just see the decadence around her and I'm like, what is your deal? Like, I'm so fascinated by her. She's really funny. But I think that's why I get leaned into these drama channel, like tea things about Emma because it's so secretive. I'm like, oh, I guess she's really struggling.
Well, I think I think she has to at some point start incorporating that because I think now that she's so public, no matter what, like before when she could afford to kind of have those 2 different sections, but now like she's famous enough that drama channels know that she has like these friends and whatever, and her audience is aware of it. So then people are like, why the fuck aren't you showing this? Also, it gets repetitive after a while because it's just you in bed all day. Like you are very interesting, but when we know you are going to like a fashion show, like why not show it?
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like that's like the housewives. Like now, like they started off where like the housewives weren't famous and it was like they were wealthy, but not where it's like now they're starting to, it's like you get to a point where you kind of need to acknowledge that these are celebrities. They say things in the press that then get to each other. Like,
and like their whole career basically hinges off of them for the most part, depending on what kind of like housewife they are, like what's their persona, on being insane or being controversial. 100%. Like they know that that's how their life will benefit.
And acknowledging the cameras, like that they are being recorded, or is like, can be, now that we all understand, we all know that that's happening. There is actually like, there's interesting tension that happens there.
Totally.
Now, who would you say is the final one at the table?
Well, I have I had two options, and I didn't know which
both.
would be. Okay, so my first one would be Shaquille O'Neal, just because
this table's fucked, and I love it.
My second one would maybe be Frederick Uckland from $1 Million Listing
New York.
Yes, who I.
Oh my God, Carly! What the fuck? I felt like I was the only one.
It's so good.
It's so good. Steve Gold, Kiss
You
Me.
like Steve?
Well, I just think
favorite.
I know he's like but his body and face seem wild. I thought I was the only one who watched that show. Oh,
yeah,
I adore
apparently
you.
there must be lots of us watching it because it continues to be on the air for like 10 seasons, but no one talks about it.
This table would be incredible. I feel like you at the head of it would really be leading it. We've got Nikki Blonsky, we've got Emma Chamberlain, Frederick Uckland.
Yes.
Is that how you say it? And then
he's like a 9 foot Patrick. He's like a 9 foot tall Swedish man.
Oh, I know Frederick because remember he was going to do a spinoff with Bethany.
Oh yeah, he did the spinoff with Bethany. Yeah, ruined their friendship.
Yeah.
What happened?
Bethany was Bethany and Frederick was like, what? And she was like, this isn't fake. And he was like, oh, okay. And then Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah. If I was famous, I really think that the world is a coward for not putting me and Shaq in movies together because it would be insane. It would be like, it's insane that he's so big and I'm so little. It's crazy that we're both humans, you know?
Yeah.
You got to get him on your channel and you got to pitch that movie.
I read Shaquille O'Neal's favorite books for a week. Does he read? Only one way to know. But I love him. And he's the kind of famous person that I would love. I know, unfortunately, I think would maybe be my career. I would either do like what Lorde does and like disappear for months and months and no one ever sees me. Or I would do what Shaq does and accept seemingly any offer to be in any commercial at all. I'm doing my Epson's printer. I'm the spokesperson for Post-it notes. I'm in Papa John's, like anything.
And isn't he like super cool with like fans? Like he's always like super like
he's just like really famous basketball players are super nice. Not Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is
an asshole.
A pill. But like Shaq.
We need to manifest this for you.
Is apparently very nice. But yeah, Shaq seems like super nice.
Wow. Which is a very tall table.
And I'm in like I come out against men a lot because of you know, who they are and what they do. But I will say recently, so my partner, he lives in a house with 3 other guys and they love basketball and stuff like that. And they'll watch it. And I'm like, I'm enamored with men. They're really just like straight men are really trying their best. Like they're just trying their best. They don't know. This is not a dig at them.
They don't know.
They don't know.
Like, the entire conception of sports is just because straight men can't just meet up and talk to each other. But is that wrong? Like they have to be like, let's watch the game. And whereas like I'll just be like, let's go sit in a park and we're gonna talk shit for hours. Yeah.
God, you are like
that is so true.
You're beyond wise. I mean, you just nailed it.
We're taking down sports.
Right now, as we're talking, there are men connecting over football right now because they can't just tell each other they love each other.
Yeah, they can't just meet up and hang out and talk about life. They have to sit. They have to do something to sit next to each other.
They have to like share a picture of Canadians. Yeah. Instead of like giving each other a hug.
Yeah.
100%. And it's like, that's how they are when they're kids too. Like, when all my memories of recess are like me and my friends being like, we're going to make a potion in this corner of the field where it's like the boys have to play soccer because that's how they are conditioned to like, you know, and I mean straight men like.
Yeah. And I remember it was like, I went to an all boys school for like 3 years.
Surprising.
And the whole like sport aspect of it was like, I had to like find my niche, which was that I was like, I wasn't good at the sport, but I was evil. So I would present my asset so that I wouldn't get picked last, as I would kick people or push them like discreetly. Like I would trip people playing the soccer game, and then I'd be like, and so it was like, so that was then my tactic. So it's good that I found a gay sports league that's like a contact sport. So
your water polo
talents.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. Front row, I'll be. Practice or not, you know? Auntie Stacey's here for the game. Well, we adore you so much.
This was so great.
If you ever want to come back and just dish the shit, we would love to have you.
I would literally love that.
And people, I mean, you're very successful, but where can people find you? For those that are madly in love.
Subscribe. Find me on YouTube at uncarley. So UNCARLEY. Had to think about how to spell my name. Or on Instagram at Carley Thorne. And that's where it all is. Join, Courtney Love.
Join the movement.
So
I mean, aesthetically stunning. You're also so smart. And, I find it very inspiring, the work that you're doing. And I love it. Top to bottom.
Gosh.
I'm a fan.
Thank you, sister.
Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Two girl bosses.
Girl boss. I'm going to kill you.
You're a girl boss. I'm a girl boss. Patrick's a boss babe.
You're a boss babe.
I'm a boss babe. And we're also
life.
giving queens, so we will be linking to Nikki Blonsky's GoFundMe down below.
Elizabeth Murray.
I love Nikki Blonsky. Okay, I can't have her finding this and thinking that I do not stand with her.
No, that whole section.
I just want to say it's disgusting. This anti-Nikki Blonsky rhetoric you're spewing.
I agree. Well, we will talk to you next week.
Bye.